there. Thanks for joining me. Deb Mundy here, one of the coaches over at Social Launch Media. Thanks for joining me. And one of the coaches over here with Jennifer Sloan, our chief bot maker, our chief messenger chat maker, and I get to play with words. And we both get to help our clients with social, and that's what this live is all about. So this weekend, we sent out to our private clients a calendar that listed some of the special calendar days. I'm sure you've seen those posts: Happy Noodle Day, Happy Red Apple Day, just crazy stuff that I don't know who put those things together, but anyway, they're there and they can be used as inspiration for us to do a riff off of or do some posting around those topics, right? So why is this important? Let's start with the big picture, okay? So the big picture is we always encourage our clients to be active on social. Use that as an amazing free outlet that you have, a platform that you have to help your potential clients know, like, and trust you, because people do business and are friends with, because that's important too, right? Making connections with new friends, with people they know, like, and trust. How are they going to get to know, like, and trust you if they never meet you, or if they never learn what you're about, if they don't know what your values are, if they don't know how you spend your time? And that doesn't mean that our goal is to attract anybody that sees a post or anybody that sees a live. That's not our goal. What our goal is to put enough about ourselves out there and be our authentic self, to use an overused word, but there's real value in that word. Put who we really are out there so that when we attract that new customer, it's not somebody who we don't enjoy working with, because they've had the opportunity to get to know us and they've self-identified, raised their hand and said, I'm like her. I value the same things she does. I do the same activities that he does and that he thinks are a lot of fun. We would probably have fun hanging out. We'd probably, why wouldn't we want to do business with people that we like, right? And guess what we do? And if we're not putting ourselves out there, if you're not putting yourself out there, then that person's going to go on down the road and do business with somebody who they do know, like, and trust, who has given them the opportunity to learn to know, like, and trust them. So that's the big picture. That's what we're going for. That's what we're always encouraging our clients to do. So we provided a tool, a tip this weekend in our messenger chat to our pay clients of a calendar that, again, lists some of the special days in the month of December. And what could we do with that? Well, gave some ideas in the messenger chat, but I want to talk a little bit about it too, to make it a little more clear, to get some clarity around it. So what I want you to think about is an acronym. And the acronym is the word CAR, C-A-R. So if you need a little visual, for those of you that are more visual, we have the word CAR, C-A-R, and that stands for the words connection, authority, and real. And the goal is not to make every one of your posts about connection, authority, and real. What it's about is you want to think about every time you post, what's the end game? And it doesn't mean you can't throw up a funny meme and, make people laugh. Of course you can do that. And that would be about connection, by the way, because whoever finds that funny is going to be like you, right? Because you found it funny, right? So that's, again, about connection. But every time you post something, I want you to run it through that filter of CAR. Am I making a connection? Am I showing authority in a subject that I either do for a living or that I like to do on my time out, that I have as a hobby, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be something that you do for a living. Maybe you're a great gardener. Maybe you make beer in your basement. Maybe you study history, like whatever that thing is that you like to do, or that a little bit more than the next guy, you can post about that, and it can be an authority post, right? And then also the last one is the R, which is real. Okay. And what is real? Of course, we always try to be real and authentic, but the real post, that's referring to one that maybe you're not going to do as often as the others because it takes a little more thought. We're going to put thought behind all these posts, but the real post is when you're moved by something. Maybe you read something in a book, or maybe you look at the days of the special days and you see something that's really meaningful to you, something that you connect with. Maybe you have a family memory about it. And it's something that you can share that would inspire other people who might have the same family memory, or who you bring up, some emotion in them while you talk about what that particular day means to you or that subject means to you, right? So in light of the days, I want to give you some examples. So like an authority post, one point I want to make about an authority post is one of our clients, who's a realtor, did an authority post about a podcast he did with someone who worked for the county that was a appraiser for the county. And even though he wasn't an appraiser and he knew a lot about the subject without being an appraiser, just being in the real estate business for that long and being a broker owner, he knows a lot about that subject. But he's really smart about it. He brought in a third party, which lends him credibility. He brought in somebody from the county who talked about the recent appraisals that had been done on the homes and if it raised taxes or not. Excuse me. And so he used that as something of value, that interview of something of value that the homeowners could connect with and say, well, I don't know, my taxes went up and I'm not sure if they should have. And so he gave steps of what they could do to send to the county to have them reconsider their taxes, right? So what a great authority post, right? And again, even made more powerful because he brought in somebody from the county, someone who he could get to do an interview with him and talk about what they knew about it, which of course was everything, right? So what a great way to use an authority post, because he's on a subject that he knew something about, but brought in someone with even more authority than him. Excellent use of that, right? And then he's setting himself up as the expert, because the people won't go to the county authority about their questions. They're going to come to that realtor with their questions because they know that he knows more about it than they do, right? So in light of CAR with the special days, just for an example, we've got some crazy days coming up. One of my favorites is on Saturday. If you have any Barbie or Barney backlash, that's the day to talk about it. So that's Saturday, the 16th. So just think about that. If you have anything that needs to be expressed from your childhood about Barbie or Barney, that's your day to show up, right? So make that your real post, or, you could do a lot of connection on that because a lot of people have a lot of memories about that, right? Maybe your authority about it. I have a girlfriend who has an amazing Barbie collection, literally, like for years, searched the internet for, Barbie in the boxes. And I don't know how much they're worth now, but she just had a thing for it. And she could get on and do an authority post about that, right? Because she spent a lot of time and money on that particular subject. So I need to let her know that day's coming up. Maybe she'll do a post about it. But this week today, for instance, is National Noodle Ring Day. I didn't know what National Noodle Ring Day was. Do you? I had looked it up. And it's not, I thought, well, maybe it's like a round noodle. Nope, that's not it. There's actually a dish called a noodle ring, kind of like a casserole thing. And it's noodles and flour and butter and I don't know what else, cheese. And you bake it in this like a round bundt pan, I guess, round ring pan. And you serve it like it's pretty, right? So might do it for a festive occasion. And that is what the noodle ring is about. So I don't know, maybe some people might connect over a noodle ring, and you could do a connection post about it where, has anybody's mom or grandmother ever made a noodle ring? Today's noodle ring day. That would be a way to use that as a connection. Your connection is usually a question that you ask, looking for feedback or looking for emojis or looking for, excuse me, for comments, right? So you're going to ask a question. You could also use a poll. Facebook makes it really easy when you go to make a post. What do you want to talk about? You can hit the poll function and you can do a poll. about, I don't know if you can do it about, what do you use in your noodle ring? What kind of noodles? I don't know. But people that know noodle rings know that answer, right? And then, an authority post on that subject would be somebody who did know something about noodle rings or who had studied it or read up on it. And they could do an authority post about, this is what noodle rings is. I mean, I know a little bit more than I did before I researched it because I know it's not referring to the noodle. It's referring to the dish itself that's made in a ring pan. Okay. Now I'm an authority on it, I suppose, at some level, right? And then the real post would be, again, like a memory that you might have about the noodle ring that comes from your family history or a family story, or maybe something you plan to do with a noodle ring. I don't know. But that's a kind of a crazy example to make a stretch out of that. But those would be the 3 ways that you would use that particular topic in either a connection post, an authority post, or a real post. So go through the calendar that we sent out if you have it. If you don't have it and you'd like to get it, all you have to do is when this is over, just go to the top of the page, hit send message, hit get started, and you'll be prompted to tell us what industry you're in. If you don't see your industry, you can write it in. And that's because we have templates made up for all those industries of how we might use the messenger chat to help them, those people in those industry, grow their business, grow their know, like, and trust using our product. So just let us know what industry you're in, and then it will go from there, and you'll be added to the list to get our, we can send that calendar out to you. Happy to do that. And then all the other good stuff we put out every week. So thanks for joining me here. We want to definitely invite you into our messenger chat and let me know what kind of challenges you have with coming up with content for your post. Like, what's your biggest challenge? Is it finding the time to do it? Is it thinking of an idea, which we'll be giving you lots of ideas. So we're going to help you with that. But you have to find your own time, but it's worth it. It's worth the investment. You're making an investment in your business. You're making an investment in yourself, in relationships. Who knows, you may find a new business partner like I did. Though some of you may not know, but Jen and I met over a post on Instagram. That is how we met. And we have built a crazy, successful business over the next 13, 14 months, I think you're on now, from that connection that we made on Instagram over a post. So you never know what's going to happen. So put it out there, be open, expect miracles, right? And expect to make those connections that are they could change your life. They changed ours. So love you guys. Thanks for joining me. Go be social.